Imagine waking up tomorrow to find that the federal government has ceased to exist. No Washington, D.C., no unified military, and most importantly, the 50 state borders we all memorized in school, they vanish overnight. What replaces them is a landscape dictated by culture rather than law. The continent naturally fractures into 12 distinct nations, regions that have operated with their own unique values and priorities long before modern state lines were ever drawn. Stripped of a central authority, the vast inequalities in how these regions were built suddenly dictate their survival. The territories with global ports and established financial hubs would quickly consolidate power, while regions built on arid land or isolated geography would find themselves struggling to maintain basic services. A region's fate in this simulation has nothing to do with modern political polling. It is determined by centuries-old geographic settlement patterns, the original blueprint for how these cultures took root. In the Northeast, Yankeedom emerges as an immediate superpower. Because the rocky soil of New England couldn't support massive plantations, the original Puritan settlers built their society around churches, schools, and town halls. This legacy created a wealthy, civic-minded republic with the most robust educational and technological infrastructure on the continent. Yankeedom would likely find its strongest ally on the left coast. This narrow strip of the Pacific Northwest combines immense technological wealth with high-density global ports, creating a progressive coastal bloc that controls the continent's primary gateways to Europe and Asia. The rival to this bloc is the Deep South. Established by slave-holding elites, the region's flat, humid coastal plains were perfect for a massive aristocratic plantation economy. This history created a socially conservative powerhouse, defined by rigid hierarchies and a long-standing distrust of central authority. To maintain its influence, the Deep South would likely form a coalition with Greater Appalachia. While culturally distinct, these regions are united by a preference for traditionalism and resource extraction, creating a conservative alliance that stretches from the Gulf Coast to the hills of West Virginia and northern Texas. These two incompatible cultural blocs would immediately lock into a Cold War for continental dominance, forcing every other territory to quickly pick a side. The balance of power would rest with regions like the Midlands and El Norte. El Norte, stretching across the desert southwest, carries a bilingual borderland identity shaped by Spanish missions established long before English settlers arrived. This unique heritage makes it the essential economic bridge between North and Central America. Meanwhile, New Netherlands, centered on New York City, could leverage its Dutch commercial origins to remain politically neutral. By focusing on global finance and international trade, it might operate as an ultra-wealthy city-state, similar to Singapore, staying out of the surrounding cultural conflicts. The most immediate crisis, however, would hit the far west. Despite its massive landmass, the region is artificially sustained. Without federal programs to maintain the massive dams and railroads required for survival in the high desert, this territory would face systemic collapse almost instantly. Small, culturally isolated pockets like New France and the Spanish Caribbean would face a similar fate. Their unique heritage, like the French roots of New Orleans, separates them from their neighbors, forcing them to quickly fold into larger alliances to secure their economic futures. In a fractured America, raw landmass means nothing. True survival comes from historical cohesion and geographic infrastructure standing on its own. This simulation isn't actually a thought experiment about the future. It is the active reality of the United States today. Modern political gridlock represents the friction generated by forcing 12 historically incompatible cultures to operate under a single set of laws. This map shows how current voting patterns align almost perfectly with the settlement borders established hundreds of years ago. The policy demands of the progressive coastal left coast are fundamentally at odds with the libertarian, resource-based priorities of Greater Appalachia. On issues from gun rights to healthcare, these two regions are moving in opposite directions. Attempting to craft one-size-fits-all federal policy for a country this fragmented is mathematically impossible. What works for a tech hub in Yankeedom is often seen as an existential threat to the traditions of the Deep South. Understanding the United States as a loosely bound confederation of competing cultures reframes our current division. This friction reflects the original design of the continent, a patchwork of nations coexisting under one flag. but rarely sharing the same identity.